Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos. So just going to give you some additional information in regards to Bruno Fernandes, cause more things is currently updated, and also lots of other things to currently talk about. But we'll start with Bruno Fernandes. So now more reports have come out from Portugal saying that Manchester United are reportedly preparing to put an opening offer for Bruno Fernandes in of around £49 million pounds. It has confirmed earlier on this week that Manchester United have met up with Bruno Fernandes' agent and all that. Now we are preparing to put a bid in for him of around £49 million pounds. But some teams, quite a few teams, have inquired about his services. Obviously, it did get confirmed earlier on this week that obviously, Tottenham had met up with Bruno Fernandes' agent. I think it was on on Wednesday that Bruno Fernandes' agent had held negotiations with Tottenham, because obviously, Tottenham have stepped up their interest in Bruno Fernandes. It also reported out earlier on this week that Liverpool had put a bid in for him of around €45 million. Obviously, that does equate to around 40 million in pound sterling and all that. Obviously, we do know before that Manchester City have been in for him, so many teams have inquired about his services. But I think we're looking to get the deal fully finalised for Wan-Bissaka first, and then we're going to look at the possibility then of getting a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. But I still believe we are emerged as a front runners to currently get the player's signature. I think we have been considered the favourites for at least the last couple of weeks and all that. But he did initially say we are preparing to spend up to £70 million on his services. I think Sporting Lisbon do want around £60 or £70 million, but we're willing to offer around £49 million. Plus, there could be add-ons included in the deal, which could rise it to potentially around 60 or 70 million pounds. But he will fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly. Obviously, he wants to recommend young players to Manchester United this summer, and Bruno Fernandes, of course, is only 24 years of age. He is primarily an attacking midfielder, so obviously, we would see him as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. But I think, we actually, recently contacted, or whenever it was, we contacted Bruno Fernandes' representative saying that, that we do need him a bit more time, because obviously, we want to get the deal fully finalised for Wan-Bissaka. And then obviously after that, our priority, of course, is to get a midfielder in, and hopefully it is Bruno Fernandes. But I think we need a couple of new additions in that midfield. But Bruno Fernandes spent a couple of seasons with Sporting Lisbon. He has done really well. He's exceeded expectation levels and all that. But I think he'd be fantastic for Manchester United. He would be the right solution. He'd fit the Manchester United agenda. I think he'd exceed expectation levels in the Premier League and all that. He hasn't really played to the highest level as yet. And obviously he did score 31 goals for Sporting Lisbon last season. He did confirm a couple of weeks ago that he still watches the Italian football and all that, Bruno Fernandes, and he follows it, because obviously he did spend the majority of his career in Italy when he was younger, the likes of Sampdoria and Londonese and all that. But yeah, Tottenham are currently in there for him, and obviously Tottenham have got quite a few players on their agenda, of course. Obviously Tottenham are seeing Bruno Fernandes as a replacement for Christian Eriksen, because Christian Eriksen, I think, is linked to move to Real Madrid. Also Tanguy Ndombele is on Tottenham's agenda. I still believe Manchester United are in for Tanguy Ndombele. Also, Tottenham are in for Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis. It also said, Manchester United have been in for Giovanni Lo Celso. But it's very imperative, that we do get this deal finalised for Bruno Fernandes. His initial release clause is around £86 million. He's still under contract with Sporting Lisbon, don't forget, until 2023. It initially confirmed a couple of weeks ago that we'd initially, scheduled a meeting with Sporting Lisbon, to actually, get a deal fully finalised for Bruno Fernandes. But I think Bruno Fernandes, if we are to get a deal over the line, I think he will be our third signing there, like I currently said. But a lot of teams have inquired about his services. It has been mainly Manchester United and City that have been battling out for his services. Obviously, it looked likely at one point that City were going to get a deal over the line for him. Obviously, I think City were only willing to pay up to £47 million for his services, and I think City were willing to offload a couple of their players as part of the deal. But City are now opted out of the race. They've withdrawn their interest. But it actually reported about 4 or 5 days ago that Tottenham had ruled them out the move for Bruno Fernandes. But like I said, the bowler reported the other week saying that we was in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line for him, of course. So it's very imperative that we get Bruno Fernandes on the board. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad this summer. I think the spending speed is around 200 odd million pounds. So like I initially said, that should be enough for us to get around 4 or 5 players on the board. Depending on how we are with our recruitment this summer. Because quite a few people have said we should be sensible with our recruitment. I think we are moving away from the policy of signing them well established players. But basically now, I think if we do get the deal, fully finalised there for Wan-Bissaka, it's not, it's not guaranteed it will happen, but I think it probably, will happen, to be quite honest with you. So I think Wan-Bissaka is currently, going to be our second sign. When we complete that signing of him, obviously, it's going to take Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's net spend to around £73 million, because obviously we've already got Daniel James there for £18 million. But like I said, if it's true what it said, about us, only having £100 million to spend this summer, and then when we do, get the deal finalised for Wan-Bissaka, we'll probably then have to sell, before we can, currently buy him again, because it's saying that we've only got £100 million to spend. Maybe the main factor reason why this is because obviously, we're not in a Champions League football for next season, but I thought it was initially like we had £200 million to spend in that. But like I said, £100 million isn't enough for us, to address the deficiencies in the squad. It isn't enough for us, to currently, get, the number of players that we do want in. So basically, I think we're getting our Wan-Bissaka for around £55 million. Obviously, that means, we're going to only have £27 million left to spend on a central defender, on maybe two midfielders, on a right wing and a striker, and that's obviously impossible. We can't get that, for £27 million. So yeah, reportedly we've only been giving him £100 million to spend. But yeah, it's looking very imminent anyway that Wan-Bissaka is going to be our second sign. I'm really looking forward to it, to be quite honest with you. I'm still seeing some reports, they're speculating saying that, the fee has not obviously, not been agreed as yet. Obviously, Duncan Castles broke out the news a couple of days ago. He said Manchester United have agreed a world record fee with Crystal Palace fan Wan-Bissaka, and the fee is around £55 million. Obviously, this will make him the most expensive, fullback in world football, also making the most expensive English defender of all time, and all that. And the actual Wan-Bissaka to Manchester United, his transfer, could be fully completed today. It didn't literally say yesterday, his transfer to Manchester United is supposed to be fully secured within the next 48 hours. But yeah, I think we are set to get him for around 55 million. Obviously, he's been on our agenda, for quite some time. Obviously, he's predominantly a right back, and obviously we do need to address that right hand side. Wan-Bissaka is only 21 years of age. Obviously, he's only 21 years of age. Obviously, he's still got a hell of a lot of development in him. And then plus, he's British, and there's quite a few. There's been a lot of players on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a lot of British players on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's agenda, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talents to Manchester United this summer. But like I said, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, informed Crystal Palace, that he wants to join Manchester United. Like I said, he wants to rejuvenate his career and all that. We'd previously, had two bids, turned down for Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, the last one was £50 million. Obviously, we didn't offer £50 million up front. Obviously, we'd offered 35 million up front, with 15 million in add-ons. But obviously, Crystal Palace were not happy with the structure of the offer. Basically, Crystal Palace said they want from between 45 to 50 million pounds up front, with probably add-ons included. And before that, we had our first bid we had turned down was 40 million pounds from initially. Crystal Palace, said they wanted at least around 60 million pounds from him and all that. But yeah, it's looking likely he's going to be our second signing this summer and all that. But I really, really like him a lot. His defensive capabilities are very, very good. And I do believe he's got the ability, to elevate Manchester United forward without a shadow of a doubt. Like I said, he's proven in the Premier League. Only made his senior debut for Crystal Palace in February of last year and all that. And he obviously, last season established himself as a first-team regular. And obviously, has made about 42 senior appearances for Crystal Palace. Obviously, still got 3 years left on his contract. I think also, Tottenham had inquired about his services and all that. But yeah, I'm really, really happy about this. I think he'll be a perfect successor to Antonio Valencia, because we do know that Valencia has left the club. Obviously, he served 10 years at Manchester United. I think he'll be a great upgrade to Ashley Young. And I think, because obviously Ashley Young no longer got the abilities to full that right back position, even though he was my first choice right back last season. And obviously, he's aging up now. He's 33, he's nearly 34, so he's past his sell-by date. And it was a mistake for Manchester United, giving him that new 1 year extension. And we need to cover up for Diego Dalot, because Diego Dalot, demonstrated himself well towards the back end of last season and all that. But I said he's still inexperienced at the moment, and Diego Dalot is the upcoming future. So yeah, really, really looking forward, to Wan-Bissaka, coming in. But when he comes in, obviously we're going to want to build on that, and then Solskjaer will want to bring another 3 or 4 more players in. So it's looking like he's going to be our second signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But I think if it's true, if we're only getting £100 million, if we've only got £100 million to spend, when we do finalise the deal for Wan-Bissaka, then we'll have to sell basically, before we can currently buy him again. So basically, there's big news that's come out in regards to Paul Pogba today. Now, reportedly, there's been a change of senior. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is saying he wants to offload Paul Pogba, and the main factor reason why he wants to offload Paul Pogba, so it helps us. So it basically, helps us. It helps us with our rebuilding process, and it also, helps us with our transition. And basically, he wants to sell Paul Pogba now. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he wants to help fund and rebuild the squad and all that. Basically, us selling Pogba, it will help us with our transition. Like I said, I think we can, for Pogba and Lukaku for their departures, I think we can raise around £200 million. Maybe even more than that. And obviously, it will help us with our rebuilding process and all that. But now reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to offload him, even though initially Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't want to offload him because Solskjaer knows how much of an imperative player he is. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has notified Manchester United bosses, that he wants to offload Paul Pogba. So then obviously, we can raise funds, help us rebuild the squad and all that, because obviously £27 million left to spend isn't going to be enough, like I said, to address the deficiencies in the squad. But we do know Paul Pogba has been relentlessly linked to a move away from Old Trafford, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't want to sell him because he thinks he's not a talented player or with his behaviour, something like like that. He just basically wants to sell him. The main factor reason is so we can raise funds and help rebuild the squad, and this is why he basically he wants now to sell Paul Pogba. But like I said, Paul Pogba had confirmed on Sunday last week that he told reporters in Tokyo he's seeking for the new challenge. He wants to leave Manchester United, and he basically publicly admitted this actually for the first time. And basically, he's basically seeking for a new challenge, and basically, wants to rejuvenate his career. And it basically said he was even willing to go on strike, to force a move away from Old Trafford. So we do know it has been Real Madrid and Juventus that have been battling it out for his services. Obviously, reports have been reflecting out in the last couple of weeks, saying that Juventus are interested in re-signing him. Obviously, recently the Juventus director had said, that Juventus, do love Paul Pogba, because obviously, he did have 4 good years in Turin and all that, and he exceeded expectation levels. Let's be honest, he hasn't really replicated this form, since he did make the return back to Old Trafford and all that. Obviously, we paid £89 million for him. But obviously, it did say that, Juventus have been in negotiation with his agent, Raiola. It also confirmed, I think, was it last week, that the Juventus director had travelled to London, to hold negotiation with Manchester United over the possibility of re-signing Paul Pogba. Probably Juventus would more than likely have to maybe offload 1 or 2 of their essential players as part of the deal to fund the move for Paul Pogba, because basically, we've indicated that Paul Pogba is not for sale. We basically don't want to sell him. This is why we've put a huge transfer fee on him, and reportedly, we want around £150 million. Basically, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, to build a side around Paul Pogba. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is working on bringing the right players to Manchester United this summer, who he thinks are going to elevate Manchester United forward, who he thinks are going to fit the culture of the club and all that, and the history of the club. And obviously, he's also working on trying to keep his imperative players in the football club. He has been a change of scenery now. He probably wants to offload Paul Pogba so we can raise funds and all that. And basically, it came out the other day saying that we was willing to offer Paul Pogba a long-term contract, worth up to £500,000 a week. Obviously, in his current deal at the moment, he's got 2 years left on it with an option of a further year, and he's on about £290,000 a week at the moment, is Paul Pogba. And obviously, if he was to sign this new contract with £500,000 a week, obviously, he would get a £200,000 pay rise. It said in the media the other day as well that we was willing to offer Paul Pogba a loyalty bonus, or we was willing to hand him a loyalty bonus, worth almost £4 million. And I think he said he was set to be handed this payment at the beginning of next month and all that. But we do know for a long time his likely destination has been Real Madrid. I think his first choice preference has been Real Madrid. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of the player. Obviously, Real Madrid have so far got 5 players on the board this summer. But Real Madrid are not keen on a straight cash payment. They're not willing to pay up to £150 million for him. I think Christian Eriksen's also on Real Madrid's agenda, and probably Christian Eriksen would be a cheaper solution for Real Madrid than Paul Pogba and all that. But Zinedine Zidane wants to get a deal over the line for Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba said a while back about his dreams of playing for Real Madrid, and said it's some point in his career he does want to play for Real Madrid. But let's be honest, he hasn't really been the fundamental player at Manchester United as we all thought he currently would have been. Obviously, we have seen glimpses of Paul Pogba's best form, and it was mainly in that 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was the interim manager, and we mainly saw the best of Pogba, of course, when Ander Herrera was playing. So that just emphasises, how much of an impact, Ander Herrera made, because he freed up Paul Pogba. Pogba was in scintillating form and all that. But I probably still believe anyway, that he's going to be leaving the club. It came out about 3 weeks ago saying that, we was willing to offer him the captaincy in a bid, to convince him to remain at the football club. But we do know at least in last, couple of months that Paul Pogba's agent Raiola has been in the process of finding, Paul Pogba a new club and all that. But Paul Pogba was subject to a lot of transfer speculation last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho and all that. Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes when Jose Mourinho, left the club. Obviously, Paul Pogba with us has won the Europa League and the League Cup. Obviously, that came in his second season with Manchester United. But going back in January, I think there was talks of Paul Pogba going to Barcelona. I think reflecting back last year, also, Juventus were currently in for him. So I do believe that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving Manchester United. I think we need to get rid of him anywhere, to raise funds and help rebuild the squad and all that. And like I said, it will help us with our transition. Darmian, I think definitely, Matty or Darmian, will be going. So that will be very beneficial. I think Rojo should be going to also, can cash in for them too. I hope Sanchez will be going as well. I think that will help us with our wage bill, and getting rid of Alexis Sanchez. I don't think we can get rid of him permanently, based on his substantial wages and all that. Obviously, he's on 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week, based on the image rights and the bonuses. And his wages having a really bad effect on the football club. He's been inconsistent for Manchester United. Obviously, he hasn't got a future at the club anyway. He's 30 now. He has lost that yard of pace. So I do believe, we need to get rid of Alexis Sanchez. And obviously, we got him in January 2018 as part of a swap deal, with Mkhitaryan and all that. And he hasn't really been the player as we all thought he would have been, Sanchez. I know he's versatile, but, we've mainly, played him on that left-hand side. But I think when he was at Arsenal, the majority of his calls, came up front and all that. But like I said, he was good at Arsenal. He was good when he played under Pep Guardiola at Barcelona when he was younger. But he hasn't, replicated this form at Manchester United. And he has become injury-prone as well since he's come to United. I think last season he must have sustained about 4 injuries. So it'll help us with our wage bill, if we can get rid of Sanchez. I haven't read up much about Sanchez lately, but I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago now, maybe even longer, that obviously, it said Inter and Juventus were interested in Sanchez. It did basically say that his agent had been in Italy, because obviously Juventus didn't Milan winning negotiations with his agent. It did say we'd agreed to let him go on a long season loan to Inter Milan or Juventus, and we were willing to pay half of his current wages off and all that. But I haven't heard much more news about Sanchez lately, so I probably will have to read that up. He may still be playing his trade at Manchester United next season. It's not guaranteed he will leave Sanchez, but I hope we can currently get rid of him, because he's one of the probably matic players at the club. As I've updated you about Romelu Lukaku, it's looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving Manchester United again. That's going to help us with our rebuilding process, and it's going to help us with our transition. I think he's set to go to Inter Milan for around 60 or 70 odd million pounds. It did initially say we want around 75 million pounds for Lukaku. I think it came out from the Daily Mail yesterday. I was reading up from the Daily Mail yesterday. It did basically say that Romelu Lukaku has agreed a deal with Inter Milan worth around 180,000 £1,000 a week and all that. I think he has agreed a contract with them until 2024, so I think he's agreed around a 5-year deal. But obviously it's Antonio Conte's number one target, as he has confirmed. Obviously Lukaku came out the other week and described Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world. So basically Lukaku is keen. He's keen on, playing under Antonio Conte, because maybe Lukaku believes he'll flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance. But reflected back quite a few years ago when Antonio Conte was Chelsea manager, obviously, Conte, wanted Romelu Lukaku then, but obviously, he came to Manchester United. But like I said, the fee could be actually problematic for Inter Milan, because I read reports the other week saying that Inter Milan are not willing to pay up to 60 or 70 odd million pounds for his services, because it did say Inter Milan only rate him at around 50 odd million pounds. But Lukaku is only 26 years of age. Like I said, he has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. But we need to get rid of him anyway, because obviously he's basically lost his place in the team. He's surplus to requirements Manchester United, and we do know that Marcus Rashford is first choice ahead of him. And obviously we do know that Lukaku is reluctant, to play a backup role to Marcus Rashford. But he has been at Manchester United, 2 years. He has scored 42 goals in 96 games for us in all competitions in his 2-year period here. Did really well in his first season, but Lukaku didn't really replicate this form in his second season, because obviously he hadn't been really given the chance in his second season. Lukaku was first choice under Mourinho, but since Mourinho left and since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in, obviously we do know that Romelu Lukaku has obviously found himself surplus to requirements, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has preferred Marcus Rashford. But yeah, basically he said we want around 75 million, so basically we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago, because we got him for 75 million pounds. Obviously there were several add-ons included in the deal of around 15 million, which initially, risen it to £90 million. And Lukaku, of course, has still got 3 years left on his contract. And I think he's on about, £250,000 a week. But I think everything's been agreed with Inter Milan and Lukaku, but except the fee. But obviously, Inter Milan have been negotiating with us over coming to an agreement on the fee. But you do now have got reservations about Lukaku anyways. For such concerns me, he's not really good in the air. His stability is not really good. He hasn't got that endless potential and all that. And he's a big game bottler. So I've got so many strong reservations about him. But his ratio is still good in the Premier League. His pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League, because he scored a hell of a lot of goals in the Premier League. But I think we need to orchestrate on selling him. But it's very, very close now. Don't get me wrong. Inter Milan and Manchester United now, just have to basically, come to an agreement on the fee. That, like I said, the terms are being agreed, the contract and that's being agreed. Inter Milan are willing to meet his wage demands. I've been reading recent reports saying that, Inter Milan were willing to offer Icardi in exchange for Romelu Lukaku. But initially, Mario Icardi has been on Manchester United's agenda, because I do believe we need someone that can come in and score us them goals. Because last season, we didn't score enough goals. Wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal, and obviously the likes of Rashford at the moment isn't reliable enough, to deliver us them goals that we do need. Obviously, it's going to take Marcus Rashford a couple of years, to emulate to that level where he does currently want to be. And he's still young, he's 21 years of age, and I still believe definitely Rashford is a long-term solution for Manchester United. But, I like Mario Icardi a lot, and, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's keen on bringing him in, and this is why we turned down Inter Milan's offer of Icardi, for Romelu Lukaku. But Icardi's been at Inter Milan 6 years. I think he's actually the same age as Romelu Lukaku. So Icardi spent the majority of his career in Italy. Obviously, I think he's Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time. Obviously, the majority of his goals he has scored has come at Inter Milan. Don't get me wrong, I've got some reservations about Icardi. He's not really good in the eyes. Some of his touches and that concern me. Some of his defensive abilities, concern me. But he's an efficient finisher. He's got good pace. He's got that endless potential and all that. And I do believe if he came to Manchester United, he would get us them goals that we do need, and that would be good enough. Whilst he was adapting other areas of his game. But I think Icardi's 26 years of age and all that. I think he did lose the captaincy. Was it back in February? But Inter Milan have increasingly become frustrated with him. So basically, Inter Milan do want to offload Mario Icardi. I'd take him at Manchester United, but it came out a while back. It was coming from the Italian journalist Damasio, who's very reliable, especially when it comes to transfers and in relation to Manchester United. He did say a while back that Manchester United could swap Lukaku for Mario Icardi this summer. But don't get me wrong, I like Mario Icardi. I think before he was at Inter Milan, he had a season there with Sampdoria, and I think he actually began his career with Barcelona. I think he graduated from Barcelona's youth system, did Mario Icardi. But I do actually like him. Obviously, it confirmed, was it early on this week or was it last week, saying that Inter Milan had offered us Ivan Perisic plus cash for Romelu Lukaku. But again, Manchester United had turned this down, because obviously we know that Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. He was a long-term target under Mourinho, but he's no longer now a Manchester United target is Ivan Perisic. So I do believe that Lukaku is going to be going. So like I said, us selling Lukaku and Pogba, we're going to raise them around £200 million. We may even get more than £200 million. So I don't think we'll get £150 million for Paul Pogba, because obviously Real Madrid are not willing to pay that. I don't think Juventus would be willing to pay that. So I think Real Madrid are orchestrating on maybe letting one or two of their players go, to fund the move for Paul Pogba. And it came out the other week saying that Real Madrid were actually willing to offer us Gareth Bale as part of the deal. And also it came out yesterday saying that Juventus are willing to offer us Douglas Costa as part of the deal for Paul Pogba. So it literally convinces us to try lower our price tag for Paul Pogba. But I think we do definitely need to offload him to help us raise funds and all that, and rebuild the squad. But so I think, like I said about Bruno Fernandes, I think, he would be a fantastic replacement for Paul Pogba. Like I said, he's got all the attributes, to come and succeed in the Premier League. Obviously, Youri Tielemans from Leicester, I think he'd also be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. There's been a lot of talks about him, going on quite recently. A lot of reports emerged out last week saying that, we'd revived our interest, and he did basically say, we'd been in negotiations with Youri Tielemans' agent over the possible deal. Even though recent reports came out, saying that we've opted out of the race now for Youri Tielemans. I think he's mainly box-box midfielder, but he can also play as an attacking midfielder, Youri Tielemans. But there has been a hell of a lot of talks about him going on. Like I said, really, really good player though. Obviously, he's had about 5 or 6 months of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Obviously, he had been on loan with Leicester since January, but obviously now his loan spell's come to an end with Leicester, and obviously, he has returned to Monaco, and I think he's confirmed he won't be playing his trade with Monaco next season, Yari Tillemans. But I think, Leicester are actually, keen on getting him on a permanent deal now, based on his impressive performances. He was very, very impressive. Throughout his loan spell with Leicester and all that, and this is why Leicester, wants to get him on a permanent deal. Leicester have been in talks with Monaco about this. But yeah, I think Tottenham have also been in for him. Manchester City have also, been in for him, of course. But I think reports said from, was it The Guardian, if I can remember right, it might have been The Guardian or The Telegraph or whatever, said Leicester are currently, leading the race for Yari Tillemans, but only 22 years of age, and I think he would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. Obviously, Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis, there has been talks about him going on. And I think he's actually, one of Tottenham's main targets. I don't think he's their actual top priority target and all that, but I think he has been one of Tottenham's main targets is Giovanni Lo Celso. It also says Manchester United have been in for him, and it did. Basically say, was it a couple of weeks ago from Giovanni Lo Celso's preference. He wants to make the move to Tottenham. Obviously, Tottenham that can offer him, Champions League football, and Tottenham want to do transfer activity this summer because, like I said, they haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows. Obviously, the last player they signed was Lucas Moura back in January 2018, and obviously, they haven't done any transfer activity, since. So obviously, Mauricio Pochettino wants back in this summer. I think Tottenham had lodged a bidding for Giovanni Lo Celso last month, but obviously, this bid had been turned down by Real Betis. Because I think Real Betis are looking for somewhere in the region of around 70 or 80 million pounds. I think initially Giovanni Lo Celso's release clause is around 88 million pounds. Obviously last season was his first season with Real Betis. I think he did score like 16 goals in all competitions last season for Real Betis, but he was on his first season. The majority of last season he was actually on loan with Real Betis. Real Betis got him on loan last summer from PSG, but obviously Real Betis had made the deal permanent back in April. Real Betis I think paid around 20 million pounds. So they made a deal permanent back in April. But if Real Betis, do sell him, obviously, PSG do benefit from it because obviously PSG do get a percentage of any sale, and I think that the percentage is around 20% that PSG, do get. But yeah, it confirmed the other week that Tottenham were in talks with Real Betis over getting a deal concluded for Giovanni Lo Celso. He is Argentinian. He's only 23 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. It does say also, that Manchester United have obviously, been keeping tabs on him. So, would you see him as a good replacement for Paul Pogba? Obviously, I've been updating you today, haven't I, with in regards to David Brooks from Sheffield, from Bournemouth. Sorry, I was going to say Sheffield United. Obviously, he's had the year of experience under his belt in the Premier League as David Brooks. With Bournemouth. Well, it was his debut season in the Premier League last season with Bournemouth. I think he played about 30 games and scored 7 goals. Well, he was involved in 12 goals. I think he scored 7 goals and provided 5 assists in 30 Premier League games for Bournemouth last season. I think he initially signed a 4-year contract with Bournemouth, but I think he signed a new long-term contract back in March this year. Did David Brooks, reflecting on his impressive performances with Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth actually got him last summer from Sheffield United. I think Bournemouth got him for around 11.5 million. But he does also say that Tottenham have been in there for David Brooks. I think Bournemouth are looking for somewhere in the region of around 50 million pounds if they are currently willing to sell him. I think he's primarily an attacking midfielder, but his versatility is very, very good, and he did show that last season with Bournemouth. I think he can play as a midfielder. I think he can also play as a winger, so he can play out wide. I think he can also play as a deep. I think he can play in a deep position in that midfield. So I think he can play in quite a few positions. David Brooks. So his versatility is very, very good. But yeah, like I said, he extended his contract back in March and all that. He's only 21 years of age. He is Welsh. I think he made his Wales senior debut in 2017. And he obviously he knows Daniel James really, really well because they're both playing the Wales national team and all that. But like I said, he's got a hell of a lot of development minimum as David Brooks. Would you like him to come at Manchester United? He did get revealed saying that Man United are keen on signing him, and he did say he's a boyhood Manchester United fan, is David Brooks. But yeah, Bournemouth only got last summer from Sheffield United. Obviously, he's had experience of playing in Manchester, because obviously, actually, David Brooks had began his career with Manchester City. I think he was in their youth academy for like a decade and all that, and after that, obviously, he went to join Sheffield United's youth academy, and then obviously broke into their senior squad. I think he had about 3 years in Sheffield United's senior squad and all that. I think he also had a loan spell with Halifax Town, and then obviously made the move to Bournemouth last summer. So it does reportedly say that Manchester United have been in for him. So do you think he'd be a good replacement for Paul Pogba? So many midfielders on our agenda. That's one of the areas where Manchester United of course are lacking, because we need depth in that midfield. We need creativeness in that midfield. As you all know, I think another problem with Manchester United, we have let far too many players contracts run down. Obviously, that's been another issue. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was saying last month, that he wants our transfer business, done by the first term of July. I don't think it's expected to be done by the first of July. I think we expect the majority of our transfer business to be done by the 7th of July, of course, which is obviously next month. And I think there is like 49 days left of the transfer window, so we've got 49 days, to currently buy players. But yeah, it's very, very essential that we get this deal over the line for Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, we haven't, obviously, we've only got one player on the board there so far this summer, but we're definitely desperate to get the deal over the line for Wan-Bissaka. So it could be fully finalised today. If it isn't today, I do presume it will be tomorrow, or if it isn't tomorrow, I do believe, it will be on Monday of next week. But I think Manchester United initially, want, the transfer completed by the end of this weekend. But he did say it's within the next 48 hours, we're expected to have further more talks with Palace, to get the transfer fully finalised and all that. And hopefully, it should be fully completed by the weekend, to be by the end of the weekend, to be quite honest with you, because 48 hours obviously is like within, but that's basically 2 days, isn't it? 48 hours, but it's within 48 hours, of course. But yeah, so many midfielders on our agenda, like I currently said. Obviously, as I updated you about the big breaking news earlier on in regards to Harry Maguire from Leicester. Now, obviously, we do know he's been one of our priority targets as Harry Maguire, but like I updated you earlier on, it's looking like we are set to miss out on Harry Maguire now. Even though reports are reflecting out, I think it was earlier on this week, saying that we're confident, we can beat Manchester City to the signing of Harry Maguire, and we're confident that we can outbid Manchester City. We can outbid. He did say we're confident we can outbid Manchester City to Harry Maguire's services and all that. Obviously, reflecting on City's reluctance, to pay up to £80 million. We was confident, we could get a deal over the line for Harry Maguire, and he did say we was willing to pay up to £80 million for his services. Obviously, if that was, obviously that would make him the most expensive defender in world football. Also make him the most expensive English defender of all time. But like I said, he did say Ed Woodward was keen on recommending him in, and he did say we was willing to pay £80 million for his services. City only rate Harry Maguire at around £50 million, but City are not, like I said, City are not willing to pay up to £80 million for his services. But Leicester, looking at ultimately, Leicester don't want to sell Harry Maguire. This is why they've priced him out of the transfer market. This is why they're demanding an extortionate amount for him. They want 80. Some reports say they want 90 million pounds. But I think from Harry Maguire's preference, he wants to join Manchester City, because obviously City are the dominant force in England at the moment. Obviously they won a domestic treble last season and all that, and obviously they can offer him Champions League football and all. And obviously City are seeing Harry Maguire as a replacement for Vincent Kompany. So basically City are on the verge of getting him. He even reportedly said that City have scheduled a medical for Harry Maguire, so he's set to have a medical with Manchester City. I think City may be able to come to an agreement on a deal for him for around £65 million, even though Leicester want around £80 million. But of course City are reluctant to currently pay that. But obviously Harry Maguire's been relentlessly linked to a move to Old Trafford. Obviously the rumours have continued to persist since last summer, and the process started under Jose Mourinho, because obviously Harry Maguire was one of the players that Jose Mourinho wanted, but obviously last summer we didn't get him, because obviously we was not willing to pay up to £70 million for his services and all that. But he wants to play under Pep Guardiola's Harry Maguire. He wants to rejuvenate his career, take his footballing career to the next level, and probably he does believe Harry Maguire that he definitely will flourish under Pep Guardiola's guidance and all that. Probably more than likely City will consider offloading, Otamendi if they do get the deal over line for Harry Maguire, because obviously, Harry Maguire will obviously, want first team football at Manchester City, week in, week out and all that. But obviously, he's been at Leicester, a couple of seasons. Obviously, Leicester paid £17 million for him from Hull City, back in 2017. And since his arrival at Leicester, obviously, he's played about 76 games in all competitions for them. Obviously, I think he's made about in total 101 appearances in the Premier League in total and all that. But yeah, very good central defender. Plus, he's British. He's only 26 years of age, but his defensive ability is very, very good. He does show that ability, to play out off of the back and all that. But he's under contract with Leicester till 2023 because he signed a new long-term contract with them last summer and all that. And obviously, I think before he was at Leicester, obviously, he was at Hull. He had quite a few years with Hull. I think he also had a loan spell with Wigan. I think he initially began his career with Sheffield United. He did graduate from their youth system, and obviously, went on to play 166 professional games for Sheffield United. Obviously, this is when Harry Maguire was younger. So it's looking like this is going to be City's first major signing this summer, of course. But we do know Manchester City have spent a hell of a lot of money, especially under Pep Guardiola. The majority of the money Pep Guardiola has spent, of course, has been on that Manchester City team. Obviously, City have already done business with Leicester. They got didn't they get Raheem Mahrez? When did they get Raheem Mahrez? Was it last summer? If I can remember rightly, or was it back in January? It was one of them, but they did get Raheem Mahrez from Leicester. So looking like City are going to do business again with Leicester by getting Harry Maguire on the current board. But he did say he did basically say, we was actually, willing to, offload at least one of our players, to try and convince, Leicester, to lower their price tag. So he did say we was willing to offer Andres Pereira as part of the deal for Harry Maguire. That came out of the media the other day. Obviously, Andres Pereira is one of our fringe players. And he also said we are maybe willing to offer, Eric Bailly and Marcus Rojo to Leicester in exchange for Harry Maguire. Again, to try and convince Leicester to lower their price tag. But like I said, it's looking like now he's going to be going to Manchester City. But there has been so many central defenders on our agenda because we have got issues defensively. That was proven last season because we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League, last season. Obviously, 54 goals in the Premier League last season in 38 Premier League games. I think that's our highest total in 40 years. So it just proves, the issues that we've currently got defensively and all that. And we need to see vast improvements going on into this season. Obviously, reflecting back last season, it was very disappointing. We finished sixth. Didn't win any silverware. We haven't won any silverware in the last couple of seasons. But I do believe, our expectations going on into next season probably, will be to finish in the top four, maybe win the Europa League, maybe win the Carabao Cup. But I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspiration is going to be that top four because I do believe we're a number of years off, from mounting any kind of title challenge up. I think we're at least 3 or 4 years off, from winning the league or even, challenging her for the league. People said if we get the right players to Manchester United this summer, they do believe, we can even win the league next season or at least challenge for the league. But I don't, see that, currently happening. And Solskjaer said, towards the back end of last season, he still believes we can attract players to the highest level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. And it's going to be hard for us to convince players to stay at the club because we're not in a Champions League football. And obviously, Champions League football is always very, very pivotal. But, we have been playing catch-up for the last 5 or 6 years. Obviously, the main factor reason why we've been playing catch-up because obviously we've been mismanaged in the last 5 or 6 years. We've been underachieving in the last 5 or 6 years. Don't get me wrong, a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the club, since Alex Ferguson retired. We've seen players come in, and of course we've seen players go and all that. And hopefully, I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got the stature to get us in that commanding position, of course, where we do currently want to be. And I hope it works out for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because obviously he did really, really well in his first 3 months as interim manager. He exceeded expectation levels. The results were good. The performance is really, really good. And it just seems to have all gone wrong, since he has got the job permanently. But hopefully, he can take Manchester United forward and all that. He hasn't really got the experience of a manager, don't get me wrong, especially not to the highest level. That does concern me. That gives me reservations and that. But he was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years under Alex Ferguson and all that. But like I said, regardless of who our manager is, no one is going to have, follow Alex Ferguson's legacy, and we're never going to achieve of what we achieved under Alex Ferguson, for 20 odd years, a success that we did have, no one's going to ever, follow Alex Ferguson's legacy, and that's obviously, something we've got to currently accept. But like I said, is he going to be able to succeed in these conditions now? Because obviously we're not getting a sporting director, and I did say, we needed to get a director of football in. That was very, very imperative imperative, of course, because obviously that's the structural change that we did need at the club, is getting a director of footballing. Obviously, we were trying to get a director of footballing at least for the last couple of months. There were so many names, linked with that director's role, like I've already gone through you. But obviously, we're going to be sticking with the same structure, and obviously, Ed Woodward is going to be overseeing our transfer business this summer. So yeah, very, very disappointed about that, because I thought we was going to get a sporting director in, but obviously, that is currently not the case now. And I said we need to get a director of footballing, because obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs back in this summer, like I did say. But yeah, so we're looking likely we're going to miss out on Harry Maguire, which is very, very disappointing. Obviously, as he updated you the other day, in regards to Issy Diop from West Ham, obviously, he has been on our agenda. Now, obviously, West Ham are reluctant, to sell him. I think it did say West Ham wanting a region of at least around £16 million for him. Of course, if they are willing to do any business. I think from Issy Diop's preference, I think he's keen on making the move to Manchester United. Obviously, West Ham don't want to sell him, like I said, because they know how much essential player he is. But it reported out last week saying that Manchester United were interested in him. He is only 22 years of age. He is 6'4", so I do presume he's very good in the air. He is a good athlete and all that. Obviously, has had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League, because it was his debut season in the Premier League last season for West Ham. I think he played about 33 games for West Ham. I think he made about 38 appearances in all competitions. He's got 4 years remaining on his contract with West Ham. Obviously, he signed a 5-year contract with West Ham last summer. West Ham actually got him from Toulouse for £22 million and all that. But Manchester United have been in for him. It did reportedly say that we've had a £40 million bid turned down for Issy Diop. It said reportedly we'd offered £40 million plus Phil Jones as part of a deal for Issy Diop. Well, the player did remain anonymous for quite a bit, but it recently got revealed it was Phil Jones that we had offered plus £40 million for Issy Diop. But West Ham of course had turned this down. Potentially, reports said early on this week, as I updated you on, saying that West Ham want Anthony Martial in exchange for Issy Diop if they are willing to do any business with the player. But obviously, Manchester United are going to be reluctant, to offload Anthony Martial, because we do know how much of an imperative player that Anthony Martial is. I know his performances have been very inconsistent in the last couple of months and all that. And we did give him a 5-year contract back in January. I know there was a lot of talks going on towards the back end of last season, saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted to sell him and all that. Obviously, Solskjaer was reflecting on Anthony Martial's bad attitude in training. But obviously, at the time, his decision had been overruled by the Glazers. And obviously, I think it was Joe Glazer that stepped in, saying that he views Anthony Martial as the next Pele and all that. And obviously, he believes Anthony Martial is a long-term solution for Manchester United. He is only 23 years of age. Obviously, he hasn't emulated to that level as yet. He's been at Manchester United 4 years, as Anthony Martial. Obviously, we'd got him from Monaco initially for around £36 million. Obviously, potentially rising up to £57 or £58 million, based on goals and achievements and all that. And he did well in his debut season with the club, Anthony Martial. Obviously, we got him under the Louis van Gaal era and all that. But there was talks about Anthony Martial, leaving last summer, because obviously he had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho. But obviously, he didn't leave Manchester United, because obviously, Ed Woodward was, reluctant, to let Anthony Martial, go and all that. So it basically said West Ham do want Anthony Martial if they're willing to do any business for Issy Diop. And so basically, like I said, the main part of this video, was to give you the latest news about Bruno Fernandes. Now, reportedly, we've held negotiations with Bruno Fernandes' agent, earlier on this week, as the media has confirmed, and now we are preparing to put an opening offer in for him of around £49 million, or is it £50 million, and then maybe even add-ons included, which could potentially rise it to maybe 60, maybe £70 million and all that. But yeah, I think we're still in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line for him, even though reports have revealed this week that Tottenham have obviously stepped up their interest. Bruno Fernandes' agent has obviously been in London, obviously having negotiations with Tottenham. Due to this, it did say we may have to make a final decision on Bruno Fernandes, because initially it did say we told Bruno Fernandes' representatives that we do need a bit more time, because obviously we're focusing on getting a deal finalised for Wan-Bissaka, and then our priority then will be to obviously get Bruno Fernandes on the board. But if it's true, like it's saying we're getting £100 million. That's all we're getting to spend. Then obviously, when we get the deal finalised for Wan-Bissaka, we're going to need to obviously sell before we can currently buy him and all that. Because obviously £27 million is going to be obviously obviously not enough. It's impossible basically for us to get a central defender in. Two midfielders in. A right winger and all that. You can't get that with £27 million. So this is why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to sell Paul Pogba, to help us, fund and rebuild the squad and all that. Even though we know how much of an imperative player Paul Pogba is. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And thanks for your time today. It's always a pleasure. And see you guys all again very soon. Maybe doing another live video. Probably where we'll be later on this evening. Obviously, if all else does update, we'll be back on either straight away. So anyway, like I said, subscribe to the channel as always. Take care. God bless you all again very soon.